Manx Radio's Countryside is brought to you by NFU Mutual.
Hello and welcome to another Countryside here on Manx Radio. I'm Simon Clark.
And I'm Kirree. Well, we hear from a couple more people that I caught up with from the Bolliger Plough Match at Peel.
I talked to Central Mart's auctioneer Peter Quayle about recent events, and I chat to Tamzin Cormode from Little Meadow Farm, who are one of the newbies at the Ramsey Farmers Market. Well, Kirree, welcome again. This Tuesday we're back here on Manx Radio, and it's lambing time. I think I've heard the sound of lambs, haven't I?
You have indeed, yeah. There's a few getting about the island now. Most of them will be still indoors, given this unfavourable weather at the moment. It's terribly wet underfoot, Simon, but the countryside is still quite green. Temperatures have stayed fairly mild, so it won't be long before they're all skipping about out there.
No, and one man who's very knowledgeable about the agricultural world, being the Central Mart's auctioneer and a farmer himself, great pedigree in the Quayle family as well. And I popped along to Ballagrangie Farm to talk to Peter about a marvellous nomination that he's just received. Peter, firstly, congratulations, must go in order. Quite an honour to be appointed captain of the parish of Malew.
Yes, it is. It was nice to be nominated, and when the governor came to speak and interview, I was a little bit humbled, and we're certainly going to do our best for Malew.
Tough to carry on because obviously Roy Gellan, who sadly passed away last year, Roy, again, another knowledgeable and likeable chap and well respected, so it must make it even more special to be asked to carry on from Roy.
Yes, it does. We spoke before, and Roy's amazing. I've worked with him for 50 years at the Mart, and he was one of the best to support me as I came and took over auctioneering from Noel Kringle. So I've always had the utmost respect for Roy and his family. So, as you say, it's an honour to follow Roy Gelling.
Yeah, and I think one of the things I wasn't too sure about this was the involvement of Sir John Lorimer, the island's governor at the moment. How much the governor of the Isle of Man's involved in these sort of processes?
When he came to say hello, and I'd been unwell for a little while, so I think he was just checking out to make sure I was going to carry on, and had a good chat, but it is purely his decision to decide, and he said there were some good nominations and he would let us know in due course, so I was delighted when he said that I had been to be appointed.
What's the involvement, what's it involve doing? I mean, looking after everyone, keeping an eye on things, what's the sort of role entail?
A very old-fashioned, it's like an honorary title. It used to be to gather up the militia if there was going to be any invasions and keep an eye on them and protect the parish. I think requisition meetings, there's an involvement in that, and to maybe chair some of the requisition meetings, or if anybody gets some signatures together and they want a meeting about anything, then I could organise that as well. Because the airport is in the Malew parish, I think if any royalty arrive, it's supposed to meet them. Tynwald Day, that could be a job fitting in Tynwald Day, because they always do Cronkerhoddy sports.
Could be a tricky one.
Yeah.
But great history of your family in this area as well, Peter.
Right. When the governor asked, and when he explained some of the possible, what needed to be done or what was expected, and he said, what do you think? So I said to him, well, my grandfather was captain of the parish of Moraun, and my father was captain of the parish of Moraun, and my uncle Henry was captain of the darts team. And the governor says, I think that's a different league. But I think we've got an amazing governor and his wife, so that makes it a bit more special as well.
Well, a wonderful accolade to be asked to take over with the pedigree of the Quayle family in years gone by as captains of the parish, and I'm sure he'll do a fantastic job for Malew. He's well respected. He knows a lot about the land, as we were talking about, and everything, doesn't he?
He has a great family support network there as well, a great wife and daughters. I'm sure they'll be all very, very proud of him. I've known Peter all of my life, always a friendly face and a very welcoming person to all that's new to agriculture, and I'm certain that he'll be welcoming everyone that's new to the island now in that new role that he has.
Indeed. Well, last week you were at the ploughing matches, of course, Kirree, and we didn't have time to play them last week, but you caught up with a couple of others.
I did indeed. It's always great getting out to the Manx traditional events, and the ploughing is always so well supported and such an important role within agriculture. Some people has it a bit of a hobby now as they've retired, but one couple who really do enjoy the ploughing is David and Nicola Rawnsley, who run the heavy horses. So I caught up with them first. I'm joined now with David and Nicola Rawnsley that normally have the horses here ploughing. It is a bit of a windy old day, David. Is this why you've left them at home?
Yeah, well, and all week it's been icy as well, Kirree, so we haven't been able to get the horses out for exercise at all, and now it's windy and raining, so we decided to leave them at home.
And that said, they would need to run the steam off them a bit to settle them into what the intricate detail you'd need for the ploughing competition, I suppose.
They're better kept in regular work, so they go steadier.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And it's a bit of change with the horses this year. Nicola, new one at the front.
Yeah, we've just got our two comptoirs now, Elle and Tom Pett. Unfortunately, we lost Duke to colic in March, and he's very much missed, especially on the ploughing.
Absolutely. Like, we had the pleasure of meeting him a number of times, and that steady pace, and brought home quite a number of first prizes.
He did indeed as well. And Tom Pett, she's not really her thing ploughing, but she puts up with it. But I have promised her when her days are over, we've got another horse maybe, that we'll get her out. She can have a bit of fun with someone else. She can go hunting and hacking and driving out and get that speed up that she likes. She's a speed demon, is Tom Pett.
So you hanging onto the back of the plough across the field, isn't that then?
Sometimes it has been known, and poor David can have his arms ripped out at times. Yeah.
And how will the pace affect the plough?
If your horses go nice and steady, it means that the ploughman's got more chance to do minor little adjustments, and so you get a neater job done if you can go steady. Yeah. And obviously they have to go straight, because if the horses don't go straight, you might as well not bother.
So how did you train her originally? You know, because they're bought as young horses, you've got to bring them on.
Yeah, she was broken in initially lightly by her old owners before we bought her here, and then we built her up to more and more weight, and then we're working in a pair. But we've never managed to get that speed down on her. Yeah. So she does actually really well to plough, because she does like to get going. And unfortunately at the moment David's having to do a lot of leading with her in the front, walking backwards. We don't like doing that because it spoils the look. Yeah. And really I should be taking the reins myself and doing it all myself, but with them two, not a chance, you know.
Well, give it a couple of years, we might see a different outlook. But
I think there might be one or two new horses coming up in the not too distant.
Oh, that's interesting.
Next couple of years, hopefully, we'll get two younger, slightly taller ones, and don't know what we're getting yet, so it'll be a surprise for us as well.
These girls are both 16 now, so they're getting on in years.
And they don't look it though, do they? I don't know what 16 is supposed to look like, but they just look so young and fit.
Well, they're eligible for veteran classes in most shows now, so...
A bit like myself then. Oh, but that said, the love for ploughing is clearly still here. You're visiting today at Ballagher.
Yeah, well, we had to come and get the bath, didn't we? Okay.
And of course it gives us a chance to look at other people's ploughing, because we don't usually do that because we're competing ourselves.
That said, you're taking a look at everyone else's ploughing, Nicola. Do you come up against some of the tractors in some of your competition?
Yes, I did last week. There is a horse class at most matches, but there is also an opportunity for best butt or plot on field. I tend to try and get that these days because there's no one else ploughing with horses. So it gives me something to aim for.
And that's the thing, isn't it? It can get quite a bit monotonous, coming winning the same class. But there you are, clearly a competitive person wanting to get stuck in with the rest.
There are prizes for the best start, as we call it, the best buy, and the best finish, which is the best clash. And then, like Nicola says, the best put on the field. So even if you're the only team of horses, there's still things to compete for.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
to be honest, they're a lot harder to win than trying to win the horse class, even if there are other people with horses.
Ah, see, yeah, the competitive spirit here. How long will it take you to get ready for a plough match?
Well, we're getting them ready all week, from one match to the next, really.
Yeah.
We just do it a bit at a time now.
We have the harness to clean at night. David maintains the plough, sharpens bits on it, new bolts, etc. And he gets the horses out in the week, exercise and try to get about that fizz off Tom Peck. So it was an all-week thing, really, and we work as well.
And we've got some really lovely videos on the Manx Radio's website of the Duke and the pair of horses there ploughing away with the two of you, and our listeners love to see it. So yeah, keep up that good work. We appreciate it all.
Try to.
We try our best. We're the only ones doing it now. So we went across to Somerset last autumn. So it's a bit of a shock having 13 other teams to compete against. So it was great though, it was lovely. Yeah, we enjoyed it. Yeah.
And it's making them connections with other people, and you know the questions that you may have, you've got somebody to ask now as well.
Well, before I met Nicola, back in the 90s, I was ploughing across when I lived in England. And funnily enough, that even 20 odd years later, I'm still meeting people who were ploughing then.
Wow,
Yeah.
It gets in your skin, doesn't it, clearly?
Yeah.
It's really, really special. And like I was saying to Dennis, you know, it's part of our history and our heritage, where it all began and how vital the horses were to farm life.
Oh, yeah.
They did just about everything. Ploughing, seed, drilling, harrowing, even taking the farmer to market.
Yeah.
And church. So they did everything.
Well, anyway, keep up the good work, the pair of you, and we look forward to seeing you out at the next one.
Hopefully at the Manx style match.
2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. 3rd of February.
Shenhara, 3rd of February.
There we go. Get yourselves down there. Well, Steady, you're always at these plough matches. How is today going?
Yeah, it's been a challenging field, but could have been worse.
Yeah, it looks tacky enough.
Yeah, with the rain there's been, it is a bit sticky. Nice field, no stones.
Do you go on a bit quicker? There's no stones or no problems, or does it take mostly the same amount of time each match?
With it being blowing cold and raining, there's a fair click down today, to be honest. So
Yeah. Are you pleased with the butt today?
yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle, and I've probably done lots better in the past, but you do get these days. So
How many years have you been taking part in the ploughing now?
quite a lot, I think. Yeah, started when I was 15, so yeah.
And how did you get involved?
Yeah, I think it was Billy Commode asked if I wanted to have a go, and for my first year, started off with Harold Lease, and Harold kind of started me off in my first year, and then after that, my Uncle Walter came with me for a number of years after that, helped me, and that's how I got started.
So today, are you out there on your own, or do you have a teammate?
No, ploughing on my own. Ploughed on my own for quite a few years now. Just went away quite a number of years ago ploughing in the British National and European Championships, and you got to plough on your own away there, so thought I may as well get used to it.
Yeah. And what about your young fella Charlie? Has he shown an interest now? He'll be getting up.
Yeah, he's not really old enough to be driving a tractor at a ploughing match yet, but does enjoy the scratching about helping me at home. Yeah.
This is it. We were talking there to Dennis before, and we were saying how important that getting a good seed bed for the crops is. Now, going back a week or two there now, Steady, the Manx Grassland Society had their awards, and you come out on top with some of your haylage this year for the second year in a run by the sound of it.
Yeah, there's probably more good luck than good management, but judges must have liked it somehow or another, so yeah.
Well, how did that go? You know, obviously a young crop of grass is what brings out the best in the haylages, and, you know, a good seed bed important for that?
Yeah, well, when we're reseeding, we're always ploughing up and trying to get it as good as possible and get a good take of seeds, and then we're only really cutting, as you say, young seeds in the first or second year, really, for the haylage we're making. There's we've got quite a lot of clover and various things in the mix, just trying to make stuff with fairly decent protein in it. Feed quite a bit of it to use coming up to lambing, and this time of year you need You need decent fodder. You can't just be bailing up any old rubbish. So.
No. And where you are steady up in Reggaby there, north of the island, it can be dry enough. How did you manage this year?
Not too bad, really. There's struggled getting turnips established, but it was too dry for them. But the rest of it managed all right, really. There's for the north, we're probably one of the damper farms, really. So.
And how are you finding this new sort of modern take on the seeds now? Different varieties of grasses, different types of plants that they're going back a bit in sort of the species. Are you embracing any of those that are deeper rooted for the drought weathers, or is that something you might be looking at?
I don't think we ever really got round to being modern at Ballyocky. We're kind of only doing what we were doing sort of years and years ago in Father and Walter's time, and apparently it's the in thing these days. But
you're ahead of the game.
Yeah, apparently it's all kind of come a full circle, hasn't it?
There we go. That was Alan Radcliffe, or Steady Al, for the second year in a row winning the haylage competition at the Grassland Society Awards. And before them, the very passionate David and Nicola Rawnsley with the heavy horses that do the ploughing.
We'll have to start renaming him Adrian Mole with that diary there, Kirree, won't we, eh?
This is it.
The secrets to success.
This is absolutely it. Steady Al's big ledger came out for that winning formula for the haylage competition. And what a great passion that he has for farming. And it can't be easy farming with the drought or the drying that the north has. Well, you'd know better than I do, but up at Reggaby, it dries out hard in the summers, doesn't it?
It does, but he's such a character, Al, and he's steady old head on him, and I suppose that's why he's nicknamed Steady. But he's always enthusiastic. He spent a lot of time with the young farmers over the years. He supports as many local agricultural events and everything that he can.
Absolutely does, and he's a great person to spend 5 minutes with, the knowledge that he has, and just the ways that they have up there, the old ways that clearly do work. And sometimes it has to go full circle to prove that some of the old ways are still the very best.
Indeed. You're listening to Countryside here on Manx Radio with Kirree Kermode and myself, Simon Clark. Well, I often pop along to the farmers' markets, and I went up north to have a look around the Ramsey Farmers Market, and I caught up with one of the new stall displayers that was there on the Saturday afternoon. And I spoke to Tamzin Cormode, and she runs the Little Meadow Farms.
So this is our second week here. We've come down with our free-range pork, our free-range eggs, and also Honeyman's honey products.
Now, it's something that the Manx public are, a lot of them are getting more, into the homegrown stuff, knowing where the food is coming from, and that seems a really important thing in this day and age.
Definitely. From how the animals were raised, how they were fed, how they've been kept, really, is starting to become a lot more important to people. Yeah. And obviously the quality of the food that you're getting from that.
How satisfying is it now to be here on the stand? A lot of people have come in and buying the eggs and the meat.
It's actually really great because we've had a few people that have come back this week that bought pork last week and said how great it's been, and the eggs how delicious they've been. So when you've watched these animals being born, and you're like, to know that you've produced something that is good quality and that people are enjoying it, it's actually a really good feeling.
Yeah, and it's something unique, these farmers markets like this, and I suppose with only your second week here, the Manx public, they're always a little bit sceptical until they get to know you. And I've noticed this week when I've come in, a lot more people have come back and sort of to see you again and getting to know you, which is, I suppose, from your side of it, not just rearing the animals and the eggs yourselves, but to actually get a chance to chat to the public about it is important as well.
Oh no, it is great because I know I can answer any questions about these animals. I can tell you when these pigs were born. I can tell you their history, and people do want to know that. They are asking that, and it's also nice conversations to have. People. It's great conversations around that.
Yeah, people do come to these sort of ones. It's so different than selling it to somewhere big and it's sitting on the shelf. You don't get that interaction.
No, I think that's definitely a lot less personal. So, for example, someone said, do you do this? And we're like, no, but we can. If someone has a particular cut that they'd like, we can get in touch and we can arrange that when the next lot of pigs go in.
How did you get into the farmers market here? I mean, it's usually quite busy, and when it's outside, there isn't much space.
I just popped down and had a chat with Albie, and he gave me the forms. It was really simple. I just needed to get a bit of paperwork together, and it was really easy. And the people here are so friendly as well. There's no, I don't want to say clickiness. It's nothing like that. Everyone seems to be really friendly and nice, and the customers that have been here they're been very lovely as well.
Yeah. Well, you've been at it a few years now, rearing the pigs and the hens. I mean, how difficult is it?
Well, it's a massive commitment. I'd say more than difficulty. I mean, the most thing that makes it difficult is just the weather at the moment, for example. Because the pigs do turn up the ground because they are outdoors. They will be outdoors all year round, and it does get knee deep in mud in some areas, in the lower parts of their fields. But it does become fun, and it is nice because you get to see them outdoors doing what they do naturally. Running around causing trouble.
Well, there's a few people like that around, I tell you as well. But, I mean, the hen side of it as well, and the eggs. I mean, on a beautiful morning, I'm not saying there's been many lately, but on a beautiful morning, when you lie in bed and the sun's coming up and hear the chickens and all outside and the hens, it's a rural feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, especially we've got cockerels as well, because they
cock-a-doodle-doo.
Yeah, so they help protect the hens as well. So we do have a lot of birds of prey. My children, they do chase the children off. But yeah, no, it's lovely up there, and you can just sit and watch them having their dust baths, having their arguments, having their social interactions with each other. It is nice to get away and just take 5 minutes out and watch it all.
Yeah. Is it the difficult side of it, or are you used to it now when you rear in the pigs and then you've got to obviously put them into the business side?
Yeah, I've never done anything like this before before we started this, and it was very hard at first, but you kind of...
It's an acceptance of life in a way, isn't it?
I know they've had a good life, whereas there's different ways to raise them where it's...
They're in a happy environment, aren't they?
Yeah. So I know my pigs have had a great life. I know that one likes his head scratched. That one just wants to be a pain in the neck. And you have to distance yourself a little bit from it and detach from it. Otherwise, you do just get very attached to them. And yeah, it's a hard one. It's very hard.
Yeah, well, that's why I sort of asked the question. But it's great. It's great to see you here, though, a newbie to the community here in Ramsey. But on the coast, on the road from the Brittany Road there in Derby, you've got a little honesty shop there.
We do. We've got a little honesty box where you can get our eggs, also Honeyman's product, and also the pumpkin fields IOM. They put a bit of their veg in there and just ticks over, and it's open 24 hours a day. Yeah. And you can use your card there as well.
So, enjoying the experience?
Yes, yeah. No, I am loving it.
Well, great to see some new enterprises at the farmers market there. Tamzin Cormode from the Little Meadow Farm in Derby there. Enthusiastic, a little bit nervy because I think I caught her unawares, but great to hear their story about how they got going and how they're trying to support the local industry as well.
We've just got so many amazing foodie people on this island, and they're so passionate about what they do, the story, the food miles, the heritage of this place. And obviously Tamzin, again, another passionate person. But to put it to the public, there in the centre of Ramsey every week, I think it's just fantastic. What an opportunity to buy local.
Indeed. That's it. That's all we've got time for on this week's Countryside. We're back next week with more. So until then, from me, Simon Clark.
And me, Kirree Kermode.
We'll see you next week. Ta-da.
Bye-bye.